Hi there, my sweet friends. Happy Thursday night, and welcome to Science Experiments and Soul Lessons, where we do a really cool science experiment, and we use what that science experiment teaches us to learn about God's Word and what He does for us in our lives. So for tonight's experiment, you're going to need just a few things, and they're things you should have around the house. First of all, water. Just plain old water out of your faucet. A gallon Ziploc bag. Just make sure that it's one that's not tore up. You need to make sure there's no holes in it. 2 cups, just plain cups. And some sharp pencils. Miss Nicole's got 3. Probably about 3 to 5 is the most you need. Now, I have a question for you. What do you think would happen if I put water inside of this bag and then used those pencils to poke holes all in it? What do you think would happen? You think the water would spill out? Or do you think that Miss Nicole is talented enough to put holes in the bag of water and no water to come out? Do you think that's possible or impossible? Well, let's find out what happens. So I've got my bag open, and I'm gonna take my water, and I'm gonna very carefully put it in my bag and try not to spill. You probably want it at least halfway full. Not quite there. We'll fill it up a little bit more. And if you have to go get more water, that's okay. That looks good. Now, I'm gonna close my bag very tightly so nothing spills. All right, I've got my bag of water. Nothing's leaking out. You ready? I'm a little nervous. I don't really want water all over my shirt this morning. So I really hope this is as possible as I think it is. So I'm gonna take my pencil, my very sharp pencil, can you see? And I'm gonna very carefully and very slowly poke it through my bag. Whoa, Nelly. Look, do you see? And guess what? So far, my table is dry. Let's see if I can do another one. I've got 2. So far, water's staying in. All right, we got 1 more. Very carefully. Whoa, look. Miss Nicole's got all 3 pencils in there. My dogs are gonna bark because Abby's gonna come through and make noise. But it's all dry. Isn't that cool? You wanna know a secret? I really didn't think it was possible, but apparently it is. Now, let's see what happens when I pull a pencil out. Look at my cups filling up. It's very hard to hold it steady. Abby, can you bring Mama a bowl? Please. I'm getting more water on my table than what I meant to.
Big bowl or no?
A big bowl, please. Quickly. We're gonna have a mess in a minute, guys. Thank you, Abigail. I'm gonna set this in here. So first of all, I'm gonna get my towel to clean up my water that came out whenever I started to move it. Let's talk about what happened when we thought it was impossible to poke the holes without the water coming out. Obviously, it wasn't impossible. Do you know why the water stayed in? Because the plastic that's in the Ziploc bag closes around the pencil. And that's how science works. Those particles, those molecules created a seal. So sometimes God asks us to do things that seem a little bit impossible or hard to do, or that it just won't work. But with God, just as like with science, sometimes things that seem impossible actually are possible, as long as you have faith and know that God works that way. Now, what about when we pulled it out? You ever had somebody hurt you and it almost felt like they poked your heart, they hurt your heart, just the way Miss Nicole poked the bag, and you really wanted to be mad at them, and you really wanted to leave that hurt on the inside, and you really didn't want to forgive them, but you decided to be brave and trust God. And when you forgave them, you gave them a gift. And that gift filled their heart up, just like the water coming out of the bag filled our cups up. So what can we remember this week from our lesson? Well, number one, things can seem impossible on the surface, but with God, if it's something He truly asks you to do, He can make it happen through you, no matter how hard it may seem. And also, even though forgiveness and letting our hurt go is a really hard thing to do sometimes, when we do it, it becomes a gift to others that fills them up, just the way we filled our cups up. So I hope everyone has the very best week, and we will see you next time. Love you guys so much. Bye.